Good evening, people. It's Pastor Carl, and today is day 20 of what God said to me today. And sorry, I'm here with a late one, but I'm trying to put my happy face on because my family have told me I look sad in the videos. Trust me, I'm not sad. It's just, I'm a bit nonchalant, but yeah, I want to look a bit more enthusiastic. But today we are reading from Matthew chapter 20. And first I want to pick out the first few verses from Matthew chapter 20. So verses 1 to 16 specifically. And this is the parable of the laborer. And it's speaking about the laborer who labored for X amount of hours versus the laborer who didn't labor for as long. And ultimately they get paid the same in the end. And this convicted me because, I'm quite a duty-bound character. And without me saying it, indirectly, I can often put a bit of confidence, or let's just say, start to feel like I am justified, or feel a bit like, look what I've done, versus this person or that person. And you see this laborer complaining because he gets paid the same as the laborer who, in his eyes, put less time in. And what we see here is that this is an example of when we put our own self-expectations on God and we say, God, this is how you should deal with things. But actually God's like, listen, why are you looking at the next man? And we see this is clearly envy, because envy is not often about what you got, but envy is about looking at what the other person got. And this laborer starts to complain because one is the laborer is being self-righteous, and two is the laborer is being envious because they were looking at the next man. And I find this quite convicting, because even though I would like to say I'm not an envious character or I'm not a self-righteous character, when I start to put faith or start to put emphasis on what I've done for the kingdom, then actually what I'm saying is, it's my own righteousness. So this was quite convicting for me. And what it made me remember is that we need to look at what God says, and we need to make sure we are pleasing God alone and forgetting how much we've done, but doing it out of a good heart because we appreciate what God has done for us. I found this very convicting, and then I actually had to pull out two more verses, because what we see is the mother of James and John speak to Jesus, and she says, what must my kids do to inherit eternal life? And Jesus is like, they need to be able to drink the cup that I have. And drinking the cup really is just about being willing to go through what Jesus went through if needs be. And there are many of us who say we want to serve Jesus, but the question is, can we really endure everything it takes to live as a Christian? Persecution, not being accepted, having to lay down our own will. This is what it takes to follow Jesus. But we see again that if we are willing to do this, we'll be rewarded. And then the last thought for me was about the greatest being the servant. And this is so countercultural in a world where everybody is promoting themselves, where Jesus says, no. Actually, in my kingdom, my economy, the greatest of you will be the one who serves the most.